call the meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have a couple things to amend on the agenda. So we'll need to make a motion to make amendments. First thing would be to add Ward 3 Alderman to item number 5. And the second thing would be to amend item number 25, or to add to item number 25 a C category for hiring Michaela Kingma as server.
Part-time server.
Part-time server. And then just a motion to approve the existing agenda.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of adding 5C Ward 3 Alderman and 25C Michaela Kingma as part-time server.
Can I get a second, please?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, we are now going to do the administering of the oath of office. Did you mind? Maybe I could read myself, but that'd be silly, wouldn't it?
Do you need me to move?
Do we need to, where do you want this?
You
Is
can
this
do
okay?
Do you want me to move or anything?
No, you're fine.
I, Lisa Hodgson,
I, Lisa Hodson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of mayor
the duties of mayor
in and for
in and for
the city of Alcester,
the city of Alcester,
Union County,
Union County,
South Dakota,
South Dakota,
to which I have duly been appointed.
to which I have duly been appointed.
Yep.
Yay!
Amen.
Yeah,
Through the public or am I gonna go?
I
What?
can do it. I can
Yeah,
do
I'll do
it.
it afterwards.
Okay. All right, Nick, it's your turn. Raise your right hand. All right, I, Nicholas Weisler,
I, Nicholas Weisler,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of alderman
the duties of alderman
in and for the city of Alcester,
and in for the city of Alcester,
Union County,
Union County,
South Dakota,
South Dakota,
to which office I have been duly appointed.
to which office I have been duly appointed.
Perfect. Just need your signature there. All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Nick.
And then on the agenda, we do have Brian Johnson, but he's unable to attend tonight and he's out of town, so we will go ahead and do that the next meeting. Do we have anybody here interested in Ward 1 or Ward 3 Alderman? Okay. I will need a motion to go into executive session then.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-21 Ward 1 Alderman interview.
I'll
Are
second
you
it.
1 or 3? Sorry, 3.
I'll second
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
it.
Opposed? We are now in executive session at 6:06 p.m. All right, we are back in council meeting session at 6:17 p.m. I do need a motion to appoint Marvelyn Swanson, Ward 3 Alderman until the next election, please.
I'll make a motion to appoint Marvelyn Swanson to Ward 3 as an alderman until next election.
I'll second it.
Right, all in favor? Any further discussion, sorry? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Congrats.
So the election was, if we would have needed an election, it would have been held on April 8th this year. So petitioning was between,
In February next year.
yeah,
I think you took the wrong one up.
he took Brian,
Just for now.
just for
Oh.
now.
Yeah,
It's the
Brian,
only other
I'll
chair I
nominate.
have up there.
Come on up. You gotta oath you in right away before you change your mind.
And I wasn't expecting her, so I don't have an extra packet. So if Carrie wants to share a packet. that's fine.
All right. I, Marvelyn Swanson,
I, Marvelyn Swanson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of alderman
the duties of alderman
in and for the city of Alcester,
in and for the city of Alcester,
Union County,
Union County,
South Dakota,
South Dakota,
to which office
to which office
I have been duly appointed.
I have been duly appointed.
Congratulations.
After the meeting, stick around, we'll talk some paperwork.
Yes.
We can share. I don't find it very hard.
This council is cool now.
Yeah, bring my reading glasses.
It's nice to have papers.
Right?
Oh, this is minutes
All
from last meeting.
right, we are on item number 6, so nominations for council president. That was Darla. I should probably explain that a little bit. That was Darla, and since Darla decided to vacate her position and not run again for alderman, we do need to appoint someone else. So I just need a nomination for council president, or nominations, whichever, what everybody else is thinking.
Can't nominate yourself.
I know.
I'll nominate Kendra Hatley. She would accept
I will.
for council president.
Second.
Any further discussion or any other nominations? All right, there's been a nomination of nominating Kendra Hatley as council president. Can I get a motion to name Kendra Hatley council president?
I move.
I have a motion. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations, Council President. Now I need a nomination or nominations for Council Vice President.
I'll nominate Carrie Hedden for council vice president.
Oops, I can't write your name 4 times. Carrie, would you accept?
I'll accept.
Is there a second for the nomination?
Second.
All right.
I'll make a motion to appoint. I'll make a motion to appoint, is that what you said?
Yep.
Appoint Carrie Hedden for council vice president.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye, sorry.
Motion
Didn't
carried.
get anything to come out that first time. I need a drink.
Got him speechless. All right, well, thank you both, Council President Kendra and Council Vice President Carey. All right, number 8, need a motion to approve meeting minutes of Monday, April 7th and Monday, April 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of Monday, April 7th and Monday, April 14th, 2025.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, any public input tonight?
What was that?
Any public input tonight? Huh? You're on the agenda.
I'm on
Dave has public input.
I just have 2 quick things for you real quick, since I didn't get it on the agenda, but I did speak with the pool contractors. The exterior plumbing to the main pool is complete, and they've started to backfill, and they're hoping if the weather holds, they'll be able to start pouring the new recreation deck by the end of this week. There's one main line that still needs to be run from the Wade pool to the chemical house, pump house, and then that'll be completed. So hopefully by the end of this week, we'll see some concrete going in. Then once that's done and set, they'll be able to start working on the plaster and everything. So he's thinking early to mid-June, with missing about a week and a half or so, week and a half, 2 weeks with the weather. But if the weather permits, he feels pretty confident early to mid-June finish date. So
Now, when does the pool typically open?
typically opens that first week, that right around the 1st of June. So we'll be
Like
close.
it's usually the week after Memorial Day, right?
Yeah.
Or like of Memorial Day?
Yeah, so it'll be a week or 2 behind where we typically see it open, but it's definitely better than the alternative. So things are moving along pretty nice. Second thing that I have is, in case you guys hear anything, there was an accident just south of town by the old steakhouse today.
I just missed it this morning.
That intersection has kind of consistently gotten worse over the last few years. That accident could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, the high school girl that was involved is okay. She had to get some stitches and stuff. There was somebody that was injured pretty severely, but I did reach out to the state DOT and county and started those talks. And the sheriff spoke to the sheriff as well. The state DOT office and the sheriff were both in agreement that something needs to be done to improve the safety of that intersection. It's not going to be a quick process, but in case somebody does reach out to the council or the mayor, those conversations have been started. I know it's outside of city limits, but it's still town. And it's still close enough that it concerns us. So hopefully we can see some movement on that this summer and get some of that improved. So
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, appreciate
Yeah, I
that.
was gonna ask about that, because,
It's-
I'm at that intersection twice every morning, and it gets kinda hairy once in a while.
yeah,
I know back about a year and a half ago, my wife and I were heading south there, and I seen a vehicle coming from the east, and I said, that vehicle isn't gonna stop, and they went right through. If I wouldn't have been paying attention, I could have got schmucked.
yeah,
And a lot of times it's semi-traffic as well that doesn't
yeah.
stop.
And that's
Which
worse,
is even
worse now,
worse.
46 feet toward them too.
Right. But yeah, I think that is in our due diligence to support those things, because it's our residents that are driving those
And
roads.
if people feel the need to call the state DOT office, they can. If they have questions, they can reach me. It's the Yankton office. If you want to refer them to that office, that's who's under our jurisdiction.
I know Tanya there pretty well.
Yeah. So,
And regardless, just be careful.
correct. That's all I have.
Look twice.
Watch out for the other idiots.
Yes.
I just have one little thing too. I just wanted to say thank you for sending the flowers for my mom's funeral. I appreciate that. I will send a formal thank you as well, but I just wanted to make it known. They were very nice, and now they're sitting outside my front door so you can see them when you drive by, and until they die. I'm not great. I have a gray thumb, not a green thumb, so, but thank you guys. Any other public input? No. All right. Any sheriff's office updates other than that, I guess, is kind of.
Sheriff's office had nothing for us.
Okay. All right, we are on to Sean for the 2025 Union County Fair.
Howdy, everyone.
Hello.
I am the fair manager, and we want to have an adult dance at the fair. And we would like to have alcohol. And I took it to the Union County Commissioners, and we narrowed down some of the options that the Fair Board discussed. We're looking at having it between these two buildings, just to confine things. We're not gonna let any kids in. There's gonna be a fence on Iowa Street, and a fence on the other end of the building, and then we'll screw those wooden windows open on the one side, all down. We was concerned about, beers going through the fence, that kind of thing. And so that was our solution to that problem. Also, we will do, all of the fair employees will do Learn to Serve, which is just an alcohol training that happens to be an online type class. And so all of those will do that. Not only the ticket takers, but the 2 people serving as well as the 1 person in the back. So there'd be 4 people total that take that. We talked to Waddies, they'll sell us the alcohol and take back our returns. We'd have only 1 gate in and out, and it would only be adults, and it'd all be banded. And that's how we'd handle it. I'll give you a heads up, it's a precursor for us to learn what we need to learn, so in the future we can move forward and start getting control on the alcohol, because it's out of control on the rodeo and the fair both. And in order to get it back in control, we need to sell alcohol and control where it is and how it's dispensed. So that's my input on it, is I feel that this is the adult thing to do, this is a responsible thing to do, is start moving forward, learn what we need to learn so that we can go and get a handle on this situation.
So would you be serving at the rodeo and
No.
tractor pull too?
No.
Just the dance?
Just the dance this year. It would be after the rodeo on August 1st. We think the rodeo would get done sometime between 8 and 9. We booked the band for 9 to midnight, but if the rodeo gets done a little before 9, we'll start early. So I put 8 to midnight, I think, on some of the papers.
Yep.
Just so we had a safe call. But we'd like a malt beverage permit for August 1st and there's hours. You guys have any questions or concerns?
No, I appreciate you thoroughly thinking it through.
Yeah, I talked to the police, the sheriff's department. They said they could staff somebody up here. I also want a kind of a bouncer type person. The stage is going right there on Iowa Street, and I want a bouncer type person on that back line so that we make sure that no kids sneak in, or we just got to get a really good handle on it. If this goes well, then we'll be okay to start looking at the other avenues as we go forward. But we got to get a handle on it, and we got to do it soon. So this is our learning curve, I think.
I like that. I commend you for looking into it like that as well. So we would need a motion to approve the special alcohol permit for the Union County Fair, August 1st, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the special alcohol permit for Union County Fair for August 1st, 2025.
A second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just like
I'll start
handing
those
things out like
forms
that.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a good night, Sean.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
You bet. It was interesting.
Got to see one of the livelier ones, like
Stuff.
things happening, yeah. All right, number 12, Banner Associates Monthly Engineering Report from Paul.
Afternoon, everybody.
Hello.
One of the new faces from Banner. I've probably seen Tanya and Sarah up here quite a bit. But since there's a few things looking at that water project here, that'll be my territory, so that's why you're seeing me here today. I guess just kind of going through the monthly report, what's all kind of taking place here, kind of just going through the memo, wastewater treatment facility. basically looking at, that's been substantially completed, and there is a further item over here for the work that's done, basically changing the retainage that's being held back from 10% to 5%, just because they've met a milestone for all that. And you can kind of see some of the work that's been completed through there. I guess any major questions or concerns or anything going on specifically with the wastewater treatment plant?
No, not this time.
There is a few, item further down here for the net pay request number 23. That'll be another item coming up through that. Going on to the sanitary sewer collection improvement system. Tammy's in charge of that one here. We're looking at cleaning and televising the sanitary sewer collection system, identifying and prioritizing the locations and segments to the greatest need of repair, and doing some design bidding for you guys as well. Basically, update on that, there'll be another, what you have right here on a future item is going to be another pay request from us for the work that we've completed here for instance, the televising, and some of the paperwork that we've done here too on the engineering side for it, so just moving forward with that one. And then on top of that too, this is going to be, I believe, a lining repair is what's going to be ultimately done through all this too. So basically getting all that information put together so that way we can get some construction plans going for you here this year for that project. Then kind of going into my territory. So backstory on this, there was a facility plan that was put together for the water system for the city of Alcester. And as part of that, there was phase 1A and 1B that was recommended on there. Originally, we were submitted Danner for funding for 1A. After this was all submitted, we took a look back at it and we want to go with 1B, which essentially is the water tower improvements along with 4th Street water main improvements on there. So that shouldn't be that big of it's not a big deal to switch that out since it was on the original facility plan. Just want to make you aware that what was originally planned for the 1A is now 1B. What you have before you too is basically a proposal to do the engineering work for it. Basically the plan is to have it surveyed here this summer, get it designed here by the end of this year, and that way you guys can open up bids here near the end of the year, late winter, I guess, of 2026 at the latest, so sometime in that, between January, give it a couple months, either direction, somewhere in there, and then construction in 2026. So roughly about 8 or 9 blocks, partial street reconstruction, so just kind of planning on removing half the road, curb and gutter, all the way up from Ofsted, all the way up to the water tower, putting in a new 8-inch water main with new fire hydrants, new tie-ins at the intersections, new gate bells, all that. Basically kind of be the backbone to get the majority of the water over here, because there are a lot of connectivity issues with the water main. The other proposal you have is the second half of that 1B plan is I kind of take care of all the infrastructure that's underground. Then there's the water tower coating improvements, so that's why there's another proposal as well in there for one of our other engineers to go out there and spec out for the coatings that need to go in for the water tower to rehabilitate all that here this year. This one can be done separate from my project on 4th Street. So basically we can kind of get that one done as soon as possible, and that's going to be kind of away from my project site since it's just a coating job. So we can either do the projects together if you guys want to do it, or if you guys are comfortable to say as soon as those plans are done and moving forward, we get that coating project done. You can also do that as well. So, that's kind of the update on that one.
What does a coating project entail?
So there's basically, you go in there, clean the whole thing out, there's basically a new spray inliner that ends up going inside of the thing. So we have a structural engineer that comes out, he basically specs all that stuff out, takes a look at what's all going on, see if there's any deficiencies too, so that way we can also see if there's anything else that needs to get fixed down there. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's a pretty straightforward job of just putting a liner in.
And if you remind me after the meeting, I can fill you in on all of that portion of them.
And then last but not least, there's also going to be a little talk here a little later about the drainage study. I know this kind of same drainage study was before you guys here probably 5 months ago or so. You guys were going after a FEMA BRIC grant. With all the changes in the federal government, the BRIC grants from 2023 and 2024, those all got wiped out, and that's no longer a thing. But there is, through the state and FEMA, the hazard mitigation program, there is a separate grant program through them. But instead of being 100% cost share with the federal government state, this would be a 90-10 split. So 75 from FEMA, 15% from the state, and then you guys would have a 10% cost share on it. This is kind of, when you kind of think of it of your facility plans, of you have your water facility plans of all your water infrastructure, you have your sanitary sewer collection system facility plan for, all your sewer. The one that kind of gets forgotten is also your drainage, of basically figuring out how much water is going down certain roads, where you have potential flooding issues, and basically getting that game plan for the future of where do we actually need to start taking storm sewer to kind of minimize some of the issues throughout town. So that's kind of that third leg, basically. And again, this is, if you'd like to move forward, the application date is at the end of May of this month, but because you kind of filled everything out and it's a very similar form for everything, we could just basically take what you had for that BRIC grant, move it over to that hazard mitigation grant possibility. This one for the hazard mitigation, this we would know. Ultimately, FEMA's decision would be of next year, so that's part of the reason why it's also on the agenda too, is if you did move forward with it. Currently, I think you don't have the funding quite yet for it to allocate cost to it, but it'd be a request to allocate whatever that 10% of the engineering cost would be for the 2026 year on this. So yeah, with that, that is kind of the gist of everything. We can talk a little things a little more detail with your next items up here that we can go into more detail if needed.
I think I'm good, are you?
I don't have any questions. Thank you for your explanation.
Did you guys want me to stay up here as we go through the other items too, or since they're basically four?
No, you can approve them without you standing there. Thank you though.
However much you need me to hover.
No, you're good. And I still really just appreciate you guys changing the format of how these are written. It's so much easier to read.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, you're saying engineers don't put nice words together sometimes?
Not in layman terms. It's just, it outlines it so clearly you can just read it and know exactly what you're gonna talk about. I appreciate it. Sorry.
You're okay?
Number 13. I'll make
Yeah.
a motion to approve paying Banner Associates invoice number 45151 in the amount of $10,049.60 for work completed through April 19th, 2025.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Then number 14, just need a motion for approving paying pay application number 23 to Industrial Process Technology in the amount of $66,955.57 for work completed through April 20th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve paying pay application number 23 to IPT in the amount of $66,955.57 for work completed through April 20th, 2025.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then number 15, about approving engineering agreement with Banner Associates for the 4th Street Water Distribution System improvements.
This is just the 1B, correct?
Correct. This would just be 4th Street. So 1B originally was all of 4th Street and a portion of 1st Street. We are now going with just 4th Street from Ofsted all the way to the water tower. With that being said, there is
We agree.
a kind of budgeted where we have some wiggle room where once we kind of get everything topoed, get a better idea of what costs are going to be, because right now there's a lot of fluctuation going, thankfully in the right direction where costs are going down construction-wise. There might be some room to actually add some additional improvements here and there, but until we kind of get everything surveyed first, I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So like I just said, I basically allocated some additional wiggle room in there, and we kind of see when we start getting the design if we want to add.
And that's the 100 to 132 that you're talking about?
Yep.
And that is not included in the whole scope of practice and everything, like the whole scope of project, sorry? Is this separate, or will it be included with the whole project?
The
contract?
So this would be for our engineering services, and additional to that would be then our somebody observing the. Here we go. So it'd be the first part would be for the $100,000 would be for the actual us engineering all the water line, all that stuff through there. That 132 that's on there, that is for an on-site representative during construction to actually be here on site while the construction is going on. So that way we can verify that things are being installed correctly, that they're compacting the soil correctly, and all of that too. The First, that the design side is a lump sum contract for us, there's that, but then for whatever time there is into us being the RPR person, that is an hourly rate on it. So if the contractor comes in and can somehow get it done in 2 weeks, there'll only be 2 weeks of our time, but that is kind of how we set everything up, is basically just have somebody here to make sure that everything's getting constructed right. And that way too, to inform you guys too when something's going on, they can stop in here to City Hall and let you guys know right away what's going on, since they'll be there taking pictures and showing what's all going on there too.
I just want to clarify, Dave, though, for this contract, since this work wouldn't be completed until 2026, would this go on the 2026 budget, or would it have to when?
The water, it would be an amendment at the end of this year for the portion of the work that gets done this year. And then the rest of it would be factored into the 2026 budget.
So regardless, it's just the amendment, okay. I'll make a motion to approve engineering agreement with Banner Associates for 4th Street Water Distribution System improvements.
Thanks, Nick. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 16, approve engineering agreement with Banner Associates for water tower improvements.
And this is basically kind of set up the same way as the 4th Street. This would be specifically just for the water tower improvements. It's 2 separate projects, so that way, like I said, we can bid them out at separate times, so one's not contingent on the other. And this one, you're looking at a lump sum of $20,000 for the engineering that's involved to do the coding, and looking at $38,000 per hour, or $38,000 paid hourly to whoever the RPR is, whoever's going to be on site for all of that.
Say 38,000 an hour.
I know, I'm the same thing.
So what?
It's a $38,000 an hour. It's like,
Sorry, $30,000 paid hourly.
So the work that'll be done for the tower is interior and exterior coating, and then there's a handful of things that need to be repaired and upgraded and replaced.
Because no improvements have been done since the original build, correct? Or is there just
There's been
minor?
some other than exterior and interior coating. but-
it's just been a long time coming,
Mhm.
Correct.
is a safe way to put it.
And I just want to make sure number person, that I'm understanding everything correctly. So the 100,000, 132,000, that's for years, and then after the scope of project of being the $1.6 million and all the funding packages we have with it, the remaining cost for the city is going to be the 97,000, correct? For
So,
4th Street
for 4th Street in total,
and Park Avenue,
I think there was, budgeted for everything between the water tower and 4th Street, was I think $2.3 million for the SRF.
Oh, yes,
fund
sorry,
balance.
yes.
Yeah.
2.23.
Yeah, 2.23
Yeah.
on it. So subtract, then I think for construction, I think we're budgeting, about 1.7 or something like that for construction costs that go with 4th Street on that. And in total, I think it was about 470,000 of engineering plus construction costs for the water tower as well.
But you guys are technically the design bidding and construction services, or not?
Yes, we're doing the design bid.
So the 232,000 each, this is you guys would have to separate. Okay. Sorry, I understand now.
Good question.
Sometimes I feel like it looks like 2 separate things, but really it's one thing, and then you look at it and it's separate, and then there's funding packages, and there's. I just want to make sure I
It's 2
understood.
projects under one funding package, and
Yeah, but then there's like construction stuff, and then there's Banner stuff, but then Banner puts it all together for you, so it looks nice and neat, but
Yeah.
then they have contracts and this has contracts, so I just want to make sure I was understanding it in my head. Thank you for your explanation.
Okay.
Sorry.
16, so yeah. So we just need a motion to approve the engineering agreement with Banner for water tower improvements.
Sorry. I'll make a motion to approve the engineering agreement with Banner Associates for the water tower improvements.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
Oh, sorry. Give me a second. Hold on.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Now we'll go to number 17, which is the notice of funding opportunity. Those are fun.
Take some more money.
So yeah, what you have in front of you here was this basically, this is what the state sent out from hazard mitigation of when all the due dates are and everything like that. In total, there is about $5.9 million allocated for the state. I can't remember if Union County was part of the disaster declaration. Was it last year?
Yes, they were.
So thankfully, that makes you guys higher up on the list for everything. So that is a good thing on it. As I mentioned before, this is going to split between 3 entities. So it'd be the state doing 15%, the federal government's doing 75%, and then you guys will be on the hook for 10% of this. As I mentioned, this would be basically a facility plan for your drainage. So I'd be conducting a drainage study for the entire town, see what all drains through every area. Also take a look how much water is going to run down every street, so that way too, when you start doing the planning of looking at your water, sewer, and your drainage, you take all those maps, throw them together, and you kind of see what's the best bang for your buck. Obviously, I don't want to get you guys into a situation where like, hey, we just redo the water, and 2 years later, let's redo the drainage or the sewer through. It's like, well, we just redid the road, and now you're paying extra money for it. Getting that third leg on here helps you guys basically be more efficient with your money on all this, and then basically gets you also some further options later down the road where, if you do have flooding issues, you can start mitigating some of those things right away and get the plan. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to build anything right now, but at least you have a plan put in motion where, hey, this is what we need to do to get all these water levels down and to minimize flooding potential for some of your residents.
And this is just the application for funding.
Yep, so this, as I mentioned too, what we originally applied for was a BRIC grant that got XNAID on it. That would be a 100% grant. This would be a 10% on your guys's. I need to see what my 2026 rates would be, because that's when FEMA would do the official approval for everything. But you're probably looking at somewhere need to allocate probably between like $5,000 and $6,000, something like that, for next year if you guys want to move
As the
forward.
10% of
Yeah,
the project.
yeah. I think originally I had somewhere in the around about $45,000 somewhere. That's about the same as the facility plan on it. So yeah, 10% of that. So around that $5,000 region. And the application date would be due by May 30th of this year. And that'd be working with CCOG, as I mentioned before. A lot of the stuff we did for the BRIC grant, we can just kind of copy over into this. It would be a pretty easy thing to move over.
So will you guys do it or will Harley do it?
Harley will submit the grant. She'll just get some updated numbers and stuff from them.
I'll make a motion to approve the notice of funding opportunity for the hazard mitigation grant program. I'll second.
The second, you guys were like tied.
Go ahead.
Barbie? Okay.
Sure.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Number 18, Resolution 2025-07, resolution giving approval to certain drinking water facility improvements, giving approval to the issuance and sale of a revenue bond. Dave?
Yeah, this is similar to the last bond resolution we did. This is making it official so the drinking water for the water and water tower project can close. Do you want me to read all 9 pages of it? But it's similar to the other resolutions for the issuance of the bonds that we've done in the past. This one just basically says that the city's allowing the issuance of the bond to pay for the project.
So not to exceed the $2.23 million.
There will be another resolution next meeting. That one will be in conjunction with this one. That's the one that actually sets the water surcharge for the repayment of the bond, but I wanted to discuss that with you. The questions I guess I have on that one before I bring it forward is, with approving the contracts to start the project, before you get approved the surcharge resolution, I'll need to know from the council when you would want to start the surcharge. And I would like to just at least have you guys discuss, or we can discuss it after the fact, having another public meeting to re-inform the public. I know that it was all discussed when we had the public hearing at the very beginning of all of this, but you guys remember we had little to no attendance at that public hearing. I think it would be in our best interest just to offer up another one sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks, just to re-inform the public. This is what we're doing. This is, the work that's being done. This is the why, and this is the surcharge we're going to have. And then do we need to consider dropping the $5 surcharge or leaving it at the end to go to the end of the year as we had originally intended? Speaking with Banner, the state, the soonest we would probably see any invoices would be from the engineering side. Probably sometime in July of this year is when we would start to see those invoices come in. As long as we can close the loan, the bond, then we could get reimbursement. If we don't close the bond before we start seeing those invoices, any invoices before the bond is closed are not reimbursable. So we don't want to wait too long, but I think it would behoove us to re-inform the public of what's coming. I don't know that we would necessarily have to start the surcharge effective immediately, but I think it would probably be something that we would want to look at starting sometime later this year rather than waiting until the first of the year, because we're going to see quite a bit of invoices from the engineering side this year. So
I agree, we need to have that opportunity for the public to come in and hear the who, what, when, where, why, because,
Well, and explain the monetary value, because it's
Yes.
a $2.23 million project, but also there's funding factors that will be involved in it. So it's not necessarily like they are funding that full amount.
yeah, 56.1% of it's forgiven, so we're only repaying a little over 900,000 of it.
Yeah.
And that's what that 1125 would go towards, but it's still, it's a big bite. During that, I'd also like to remind them that we have a new water service contract that's gonna be coming up for renewal in 2027 with South Lincoln Rural Water. And that's going to be a hefty connection fee. I don't know what that amount will be yet, but that's likely going to require another bond issuance from the city to cover the costs of that, and that will be another surcharge.
Why
And
do
that
they
will be on
have
the
to
water.
have another connection fee if we're already
It's
connected?
standard when you reconnect to a system like this. That's how they fund their improvements, is through those reconnect fees. It's basically like a lump sum surcharge for us towards to the cities. When we first connected to South Lincoln Rural Water back in 1987, I think it was like a $200,000 connect fee. That was for all of the infrastructure, and that helps them upgrade their infrastructure when they take on a client. So it's a standard practice when those contracts are renewed that there's a reconnect fee.
So each time the contract's renewed, then it's a new reconnect fee.
Correct. And back in 1987, when we connected, they did a 40-year contract. South Lincoln Rural Water doesn't do 40-year contracts anymore. They're 20 or 30-year contracts now. So,
the reconnect fee comes up more often.
correct. Again, I don't know what that reconnect fee will be, but it's going to be somewhere in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So anyway, back to the resolution. Is there any questions on that?
Have to have it.
All right, so we just need a motion on number 18.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-07, I can't talk, I'm so sorry. 2025-07, the resolution giving approval to certain drinking water facility improvements, giving approval to the issuance and sale of a revenue bond.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 19, ordinance 2025-08, supplemental appropriations ordinance.
This supplemental appropriations ordinance is to add to the 2025 budget for the pool improvements with the lease that we had, bringing that into the revenue and the expense side.
We'll just add that line item to the budget
And the funding amount, yeah.
for that one. So then this will not be at the end of the year one?
Correct. It was recommended me just do it right away, get that one done right away since we're already expending that money.
That's fine. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-08, supplemental appropriations ordinance.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Sorry, you did talk to me about that already.
Number 20, finance office. Item A is April warrants.
I'll make a motion to approve the April warrants.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then the year-to-date financials report.
You can look through the report. First one is profit loss summary by fund. You can see water is still catching up for the expenses at the beginning of the year. The sewer plant, that's from the finishing up the sewer plant. Golf course is looking great. That's picking up real quick. Sales tax revenue is actually slightly higher right now than it was this time last year. I think we were roughly 16% above where we were at last year. Community center continues to struggle. We've had some unexpected expenses again with the building, with the HVAC system. They just were out there again and had to make some repairs to our walk-in freezer. So it continues to be a maintenance expense issue. Revenue's down like 1.1% from where we were at last year, but we're just getting into our busy season and you can see with the daily reports that it's starting to pick up. So I'm hoping that number will start to decline. With the park fund, that bottom of page 1, that is for the specific park donation fund. When I came back from bereavement leave, we had a sizable donation that came in. So we're looking at right around $39,000 that's in that fund available for us. And we'll be having a meeting with the park committee here probably later this month.
What was made on the doodling?
I don't have the
panels?
number yet. I haven't had a chance. I'm still trying to get caught up from being gone. So I'm hoping I'll have those numbers for when we meet with the park committee, but it was roughly around the $6,000 profit from the dueling pianos. Any questions on the financials?
No, thank you.
Is that normal for the library fund?
No, that's an issue. So the library has their own that is controlled by the library board. They have an account that the library board controls that we have to track, and when they have expenses out of that, it messes with our budget. Because I never know when they're gonna draw money out of there, but because it falls under the public library, I've asked the accountants if there's any way we can separate that, so I don't track it, but I can't, because the library is a city entity, I have to track all of that funds too, and it messes with our budget every time they have expenses out of that, so. If they had their own EIN and were a nonprofit, it would be a different story, but. So that's why that looks wonky.
I just thought it was a sizable.
That one comes when they buy books. It's like a large one, and computers. Yeah, like I'm trying to remember what the last time they did something else, like a database that they were.
Oh, like a.
The one, it's like, I think it was OneDrive or
Hard catalog.
Overdrive subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, and we split that subscription with the school, so it'd be a lot worse if we didn't.
It's helpful that we can do that. All right, number 21. Need a motion to approve Nick Weisler for Union County Fair Board.
I'll make a motion to approve Nick Weisler for the Union County Fair Board.
Second?
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Welcome to the Fair Board, Nick.
Don't sound so excited.
It seems like they're going in the right direction too, trying to
Yeah.
move forward. And
Yeah. Also, number 22, need a motion to approve Kendra Hatley for Library Board. Now that she is, now that we just discussed that little. It's fine.
Everything's done.
I move to approve Kendra Hatley for the library board.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Welcome to the library board. All right, number 23, approve, a motion to approve removing Darla Reppy as signer on all bank accounts.
I'll make a motion to approve removing Darla Reppy as signer on all Premier Bank accounts.
I'll second it.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next thing is the donation request from the Alcester Volunteer Fire Department. We received a letter from Pat Cast, who is the fire chief, unable to attend tonight because they have their meetings on the same night as us, so we told him to send a letter, which he did. So it's the radio communications equipment that was once owned by the police department here.
It's the radio equipment that came out of the pickup.
Yeah.
It's already surplused, along with everything else. They're just wanting to know if we would be willing to donate it. They just signed all the purchase documents to purchase a new fire truck. And this would be a good cost savings to the fire department to have that equipment rather than buying new.
I think it's a great thing. We have no use for it.
Yeah, otherwise it's gonna sit there and
I will
click
approve the
this.
request from the Alcester Volunteer Fire Department to give them the surplus radio communication equipment.
Second.
Thank you both. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Glad we can use that within our community instead of going elsewhere.
Do you just want to get a hold of Pat and figure out when to get it? Or are you gonna do it right now? Okay, number 25, and this is the one that we added to the agenda for item C under this, for Clubhouse Grill hiring. First one, need to have a motion to approve hiring Nikki Vermeersch as part-time bartender at $12.01 per hour and part-time clubhouse attendant at $14.74 per hour, effective immediately.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring Nikki Vermeersch as part-time bartender at $12.01 per hour and part-time clubhouse attendant at $14.74 per hour effective immediately.
Second?
Thank you both. Any further discussion?
What does the clubhouse attendant do?
They're able to cook if they need to, and they also open the clubhouse for golfers. They can do bartending as well. It's just,
It's kind of a conglomerate of cook, bartender, server.
Course
and-
attendant.
Course attendant.
Course
so-
attendant, like, I say that lightly, but like garbages and things like that, like,
okay.
they're not actually attending the course.
No, but
Attending
they
the
do,
course,
because
but
when the
they're, yeah.
course opens, like the garbage and you take it
Yeah.
out, the bathroom has to be checked on, and then they can go back and they can, take any payments that are necessary. They would, like, if anything needs to be done with the golf carts, then they could do that.
Right. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item B is approve hiring Lisa Hodson as part-time bartender at $12.01 per hour and part-time clubhouse attendant at $14.74 per hour effective immediately.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring Lisa Hudson as part-time bartender at $12.01 per hour and part-time clubhouse attendant at $14.74 an hour, effective immediately.
Second?
Thank you. I'll just add some further discussion to this. I'm basically going to be there as needed, so not really scheduled per se, but,
We're not getting a lot of applicants.
right. And with, until school is out and sports is done, it's kind of a mess with people requesting time off right now, so.
And we just had a server quit effective immediately this afternoon. She had another week or so left on the schedule for this, until she was gonna be gone for this summer. So they're kind of scrambling to fill some holes.
And with golf season starting. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then we added item C, approve hiring Michaela Kingma as part-time server
$7.87 per hour.
at $7.87 per hour.
87 or 97?
87.
Effective immediately.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring Michaela Kingma as a part-time server at $7.87, effective immediately.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then number 26, another hiring, hiring Hannah Swanson as summer library assistant at $12.26 per hour, effective immediately.
No, she's kind of shifty. I shouldn't say that.
I'll make a motion to approve hiring Hannah Swanson as summer library assistant at $12.26 an hour, effective immediately.
I'll second that.
Redeem yourself with the second, right?
She can start paying me for babysitting.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right. Number 27, we do need to go into executive session tonight.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to SDCL 1-25-21.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried in executive session at 7:12 p.m. All right, we are back in regular meeting at 8:23 p.m. Just need a motion for adjourning.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, adjourned at 8:23 p.m.